Near the modern city of Basra in Iraq, and about 12 kilometers southwest of the site of ancient Ur, lies the archaeological site of Eridu, among the oldest ruins in Mesopotamia. Founded around 5,400 BCE, it was believed to have been created by the gods and to be the home of the great god Enki, who evolved from a local god of fresh water to become the god of wisdom and magic, among other attributes, taking his place alongside other deities such as Anu, Enlil, and Inanna as the most important in the Mesopotamian pantheon. The Sumerian king list refers to Eridu as the city of the first kings, stating that when kingship descended from the heavens, it was found in Eridu. The various city-states of Mesopotamia regarded Eridu as a metropolis of a golden age, much like the writers of the book of Genesis in the Bible created a Garden of Eden as a mythical paradise, most likely based on Eridu. The city was abandoned around 600 BCE, probably due to overuse of the land, and fell into ruin. The city of Eridu holds a special place in Sumerian mythology, not only as the first city and the home of the gods, but also as the place to which the goddess Inanna traveled to receive the gifts of civilization, which she then shared with humanity from her home in the city of Uruk. Among modern scholars, Uruk and Eridu vie for the honor of being the oldest city in Mesopotamia, or even the oldest in the world. Indeed, in ancient times, Eridu was believed to be the first city, and the Sumerian king list records impossibly long reigns, some between 28,000 and 36,000 years for its kings, while Sumerian scribes claimed that kingship descended from the heavens and took up residence in Eridu. Tradition made it the first city to have a king, predating the mythical Great Flood. The archaeological history of Eridu can be traced back at least to the 6th millennium BCE. If the ancient tradition is accurate, it is possible that Eridu was indeed the first city on Earth. Anthropologist Gwendolyn Like points out that Eridu was never the seat of a dynasty. It held religious rather than political significance, as it was the main sanctuary of Enki. Enki, the god of wisdom, features prominently in many Mesopotamian texts, especially in the story of the Great Flood as told in the Atrahasis and the Genesis of Eridu. Eridu was Enki's home and the center of his cult. The god's temple has been found and shows evidence of having been rebuilt over thousands of years. In its earliest phase, dating back to around 5,500 BCE, it measured roughly 3.6 by 4.5 meters, was made of mud bricks, and had a simple platform or altar for sacrifices, as well as a niche for the god's statue. Judging by the evidence found in a later niche, with fish bones and ashes scattered on the floor around the altar, the god's favorite food was freshwater fish. The temple's antiquity makes it the oldest in Mesopotamian religious and architectural history. Enki was associated with fresh water, as was Eridu itself, since it was located in the southern marshes of the Euphrates. Therefore, it is not surprising that both Enki and Eridu appeared in the earliest flood narratives, from which the story of Noah and the Ark would later develop. The Genesis of Eridu, composed around 2300 BCE, is the oldest account of the Great Flood, predating the biblical book of Genesis. It tells the story of Utnapishtim, a good man who builds a great boat at the will of the gods and gathers in it the seed of life at Enki's suggestion. Enki was instrumental in the creation of humankind, and when Enlil, king of the gods, grew weary of the noise of humans and decided to destroy them, it was Enki who preserved life on earth by saving Utnapishtim and all the animals of the world. Eridu was intermittently abandoned over the years for reasons that remain unknown, and it was finally abandoned completely sometime around 600 BC. The most likely cause is overuse of the land. It is possible, or even probable, that the city was periodically abandoned to allow the land time to recover. Whatever the reason for its eventual abandonment, today, the ruins of Eridu are largely windswept sand dunes. Very little remains to remind the visitor of the mighty city founded and beloved by the gods.